not had conversations on this in a very long time, which has to do with galamsey, illegal mining. It looks like now we are not talking about it for a very long time. There was a report that was filed by our Western Regional Correspondent, our Bureau Chief in the Western Region, Akwesi on Jama, where the chief there really stood his grounds and ensured that no bribery issue will happen in my community. That was last year. Yeah, for people to come and do galamsey there. I think that particular stand has really yielded fruit. And Akwesi has filed a report again from that same community telling the story of illegal mining in the community. Let's bring you that report after we have conversations on that.
This is Jama community, a community here in the Awin municipality of the Western North region. And last year, exactly around this time, I was here to find out about how the community was making strides about their resistance against the entry of illegal mining operators. 1 year down the line, I've come back to actually explore how successful the community has been.
Our forest is still untouched. So just 20, 30 meters from here, we have our forest surrounding us. These are achievements. All our people here, now they have seen this anti-galamsey as a legacy, because looking around our neighboring towns, they come here to buy food. Some of them have to travel to Jema land to fetch water, especially nearby in Ngakain and then the Boinso. Our people going to their farm, they have no problem to fetch water from the streams. Other communities, they can't fetch water from their streams to water. Besides, also they have river food. They have the lobsters, they have the crabs, they have the fish. As we know, in many places in Ghana, you can't eat foodstuffs or the protein food from our rivers. So these are the benefits that we have.
To take stock, showcase results, and reaffirm their resolve to prevent the incursion of illegal miners, the chiefs and people of Jama marked the second Jama Environmental Stewardship Day, which also coincided with the first anniversary of the Jaga watchdogs. On display were a variety of rare food crops, cash crops, and fish species found only within the Jama enclave, evidence, they say, of what a protected environment can yield.
And we see the benefit of non-galamsey is practical. Our people have organic foodstuffs, as we can see. Our people have pure water. Jema has about 50 streams, all in pristine state. Today we are demonstrating about 20 samples of our rivers, and we have sent 5 samples for scientific research. So we have the report from the CSIR, and in fact some of the standard we have is even lower than the UN threshold. So these are the achievements.
For the importance of this Environmental Stewardship Day being celebrated here in Jema to re-emphasize their determination to fight illegal mining or its entry into this community, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Makofibua, has actually sent a representative to this Environmental Stewardship Day, and he also has a message for the people to actually encourage them in this fight.
When you look at the fight against illegal mining, government is the principal actor in dealing with the menace. But consistently, we have also said that we need the support of the communities where the illegal mining happens in the very first place. And so to see a community like this mount their own watchdogs and develop their own mechanisms to stem the tide is truly commendable. The sector minister, Honorable Emmanuel Amakofibua, is very excited about this development, and it's our expectation that this will be replicated in other communities. You know, when the local folks themselves get involved, when they fold their sleeves and get involved, the results become better. So we are hoping that this will cut across board. The National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat is available to halt all of those operations. In fact, here in this particular community, as a spokesperson for 9 months, I've had numerous reports about how there have been some incursions in that particular respect. 9 months deployments have subsequently been done in that particular respect. And so we have them at heart, and then we are at every given point, we are willing and ready to support them once the calls come.
The Western North Regional Minister, Wilbert Petitbrentum, who also in attendance, said Jema's firm stand against galamsey has brought honor to the region and positioned the area for a hub for organic agricultural produce.
Jema is now a model when it comes to not just fighting galamsey, but putting measures from first principle. That is starting from source to ensure that galamsey doesn't happen in the first place, so that you now have to start devising means of trying to fight it, which we all know is a very difficult task. So I want to actually commend all the people of Jema, especially those who spearheaded this program. Jema is now an investment destination. And as I speak now, I think people have already started looking for where Jema is located on the map so that they can come here to actually source organic, food items.
It is said that to whom more is given, more is also expected from. And this adage is what the people of Jama are standing on to say that they have shown the willingness to fight against galamsey in the protection of these cocoa beans that is so much needed for the country's forward march. But they want the government to also do its part.
The best rabbi say obepa adwuma different bi ade abrɛ yɛn say yɛsi yɛn pɛ galamsey ukoba bia galamsey na nkɔfo yɛ de yɛde kyikyere ɔmo kakra ti sɛ yɛgye atumi sɛ yɛnyɛ galamsey di a ɛne yɛbɛsra aban sɛ yɛmnante wa no ɛne yɛ nketiesia ne yɛ ayɛ okuro no mu yɛsra ne sɛ obepa adwuma different ade atachi kokoo na yɛ no ha no. So
my final message to government is just to give us their support. To give us their support, especially the good work that we have done. And I'm also asking the government to come, and then I'm ready to share the template with them. I know the government is doing so well, but sometimes it doesn't work only on paper. We need to put the things on the ground. So if they come, we are ready. And then I was expecting maybe the minister even to adopt our local watchdog. They have done everything on volunteer. Can they adopt them as part of the Blue Water Guards and then at least give them some stipends for the work they are doing?
To make a bold statement of its commitment to the fight against illegal mining over here in the Awi municipality of the Western North region, this very monumental signage has today been erected to be a continuous reminder that the people over here in Jema are vehemently against the practice of illegal mining. And this is a call that they want the rest of the country to actually take an inspiration from. For ChannelOne TV News, I'm Akwesi Jenim, Jema.
That was a very good initiative there.
This is so impressive.
Very impressive.
I'm so happy for them.
They have said that whether alive or dead, no galamsey in the area. But anyway, let's speak to our Western Regional Bureau Chief, Akwesi Jenim, who filed this report and get more details from him. Akwesi, good morning.
Good morning, Philip.
Akwesi, I want to find out from you, how far is Jema from, say, Takoradi?
It's close to 90 kilometers because from Elubo to Jema it's more than 50 kilometers, I'm told, and from Takoradi to Elubo is another whole chapter. And so in terms of drive hours, you're looking at around 4 hours together. And
wow,
what even worsens it is a bad road. In fact, you can drive on a very good road from Takoradi to Elubo, but between Elubo and Jema is a horrible road, very horrible road. A road that commercial vehicles have actually stopped flying on it because they break down. If you attempt to even go there with a private car, you are likely to get stuck or the car will develop fault. And so on that very stretch, the only vehicles that, means of commuting is motorbikes. And they charge exorbitantly because of the poor state of the road. So it's difficult getting to this very community coming from Accra or Takoradi.
Because I'm asking, because of the fresh produce they are getting as a result of the end or no illegal mining activities there. So that means if they produce, they are going to find it a bit difficult to get to the big city where they can easily sell it or give it to people to also sort of have benefits of whatever they are doing in their community. But anyway, that's on the side. Can you share with us details of the river bodies in Jama and how the situation was previously, and now we are telling a different story?
Well, I think
for Jama's case, they haven't actually entertained the practice of illegal mining over there before. I mean, through their Jama Anti-galamsey advocacy group, who are basically watchdogs who make sure that they protect against the entry of this small-scale mining. I mean, somewhere last year, around September, after several, years of reporting on destruction by illegal mining, and it's never ending, happening. I set out to look for a community that is actually doing something different, a community that has been able to stand up against this fight. And we all know that when it comes to galamsey, it is believed that there are very much influential people who make sure that people still do it, despite the various groups. But I wanted to see if there's any community that has done so well in making sure that they ward off the entry of this galamsey. And I came across this community called Jama in the Awin municipality of the Western North region. And as of last year, when I went, no less than 15 of their water bodies were so much protected, and water from any of these water bodies, rivers, looked like, the water that we've been drinking. They were so good. And so this year, a year after, I said, no, let me go back and see whether they've been able to give up with a push by these galamseys to find themselves everywhere. In fact, I got reports that there were some attempts by galamseyers to encroach in that area. And so when I went, in fact, it is only one community that there was an attempt, but thanks to the Jama watchdogs, they were able to alert the security forces and they were able to nip them in the bud. And so that could not actually fester. And so today, when you go within the area, the Awin area, it is basically the only surviving area that has been able to, ward off the activities of illegal small-scale mining. And that has actually translated into the kind of, farming that they are able to do there. Their cocoa trees are very much intact, and they are producing so much when it comes to cocoa production. And the various, crops, food crops that we've been looking for, they have all the various types of food crops in abundance. But, at the end of the day, how to even cut it to the marketing centers is an issue because of poor road. So that is the situation with Jama. They have a very successful story when it comes to, fighting against illegal small-scale mining.
All right, so I just wanted to ask, what's the age range of the water guards, the people protecting these water bodies?
In fact, the culture over there, cut across. It seems almost everybody that you speak to, children of school-going age, women, young guys, youths, the elderly, they are all very much against, and they are all very much alert because of the education led by Father, who is actually basically the spiritual leader of the area. They do constant education. So it seems
okay, so
we're losing you there.
Cross-section of the people are all against it. So if you look at old people all being part of the advocacy and then the watchdogs.
Okay, so Akwesi, you just stay on that on the Zoom for us. We will engage you shortly. Let's speak to Joseph Kwame Blay, who is the founding member of the Jema Anti-galamsey advocacy group. Good morning, sir. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Hello,
sir.
good morning. Good morning, Philip.
Good. Thank you so much for joining us this morning for us to have conversations on the good work you are doing in your community and protecting the water bodies there. First of all, I want to find out from you, how did you come by this great idea to form a group that will protect the water bodies in the area by way of fighting galamsey?
Thank you so much. I think it's precisely 10 years now. The first time I met a group of, there were about 5 young men who went to dig in the forest in the reserved area, and I got to know of it. So I called them that, my friend, what you are doing is disastrous for the environment. So I confronted them, and in fact, they even reported me to the police, oh, they have papers, and why should I stop them? And I was called by the DISEC, at that time, the District Security Commission, Council. So I met the DISEC and then the district, the DCE at that time, and I said, look, if you say you have brought bans to the community, an illiterate community, you yourself, you and I, if you see A4 paper with 12 font size printed on it, will you stop and read? Don't you think you are doing harm to a community like that? So I challenge him that if he likes, we should go back to the community. He should explain the advantages of galamsey or small-scale mining, and then I will also explain the disadvantages, if they accept. So that stopped them. They couldn't come. Meanwhile, I'm a Franciscan, and my charism is more a call to help the poor. It's a group of Catholic priests, and our founder was more having passion for the poor and also environment. That God's creation God has purpose for every creation, and everything belongs to God. He has given them to us to use them with wisdom and then to hand it over also to posterity. So based on that, I started educating the people. I met Nananom and told Nananom what was about to come. So Nananom, sometimes ignorance, they thought that our children are going to find work and so they pour the libation. I said, no, Nananom, if you pour the libation, it means that you are giving them your blessing. So I want you to revoke that libation. And they did. And you know what happened? That time, they have dug about 30 to 40 feet deep into the earth. Yes. And there was a heavy storm, I remember, on the 8th of June 2015. That storm that killed so many people at Circle. So when that rain came, it was miraculous. There was a heavy from nowhere. The soil moved, and then a very big stone went and closed that pit.
Wow.
So yes, so the people themselves got scared. So no, now we shouldn't joke of it. Then that aside, in the 2016, I was transferred to Rome. So they thought that I have gone so they could come back. Then they made the attempt, the youth arrested them. In 2019, that was when they tried to bribe the king, our chief. So the so-called licensed small scale brought about 250,000. They promised him a pickup. And then meanwhile, the chief has been sick with stroke. In fact, this is the 10th year. So at that time, he was suffering from stroke. That was the beginning. So he was more curable. But he said, no, I won't do that. So in 2019, I was informed, and I came down from Rome. So when I came down, I said, look, you say you are small-scale miners. Again, let us have a community debate. So I called, and then the whole community, more than 1,000 people gathered, both stranger farmers and natives. And I said, now you tell me all the good things that you are going to bring. So they said, okay. They started speaking. We are going to, I said, now, tell me all the towns around us that are doing galamsey, small-scale mining. Which of them is more prosperous than Jema? Our youth, you go there these days in the village, they have self-contained, they're educating their children, a lot of graduates are coming, all from cocoa farming. So then I also started telling them with the act in my hand, Act 703, I said, look, first of all, if you are talking about medium-scale mining, that is industrial, and you need about $10 million to begin. You have that money. So I know that you are coming to claim the land and then hand it over to Chinese to come and destroy it. So I throw it over to the people. Do you like it? They all said no. So that day I said, I give you ultimatum. Within 24 hours, I want you to seal all the pits that you have dug for your prosperity. Let's go to the police. So I took them to the police station to make an undertaking to fill all this. I said, even if our rat falls in, that is our property. So we negotiated and so, well, Father, at least give us 3 days. So I gave them the 3 days, and that brought an end to that. Then again, I went back to Rome in that was April 2022. They made another attempt. This time, the Chinese came with some miners from Enchi, the kingpins from Enchi, and then they recruited 8 of our boys. So they went and dug, and again, our youth, strong, they went and arrested them. So they arrested them, handed them over to the police. In fact, that day, the police inspector did very well because the boys would have lynched the Chinese. They did everything. So they deflated the tires. The police have to drive the vehicle, the Chinese vehicle, just on the rims to the police station. So that put a scare in them. So on that time, I was still in Rome. So I wrote a strong letter with my letterhead from Rome that we are watching to see the outcome of that arrest. In fact, the police took it serious. They were remanded for about 2 weeks, and then later on given the bail because of the human rights distance. So then they were reporting and reporting. Then eventually I came, as a priest, sometimes I turn around also to mediate for them. So I came down that was June, July 2022. Then I met each one of those who were arrested. I said, now, the whole community, we say this is not good. Why are you doing that? So I convinced them. I said, now, if you like, I can apologize on your behalf to the community. So if you promise that you are not going to do that again, I will apologize and withdraw your case. So again, I met the entire community. The victims pled for pardon, so I mediated for them. Then on that day, I said, now, the first concord was just oral. Now we are going to put it into writing. So that was what came to be as the Jema Galamsey Concord or Anti-galamsey Concord. So I have it there. I've shared on many platforms. So I prepared a proper legal document, came out with, I think, 17 reasons why we don't want galamsey or illegal mining on our land. And the chief signed, every stool owner signed. Then, in the farming area, we have like the Ewe family, Ewe community, chief, Dagomba chief, and all these people. So they all signed. And I distributed that letter from the president to the last police inspector in Jema, and then also to the traditional authorities. Besides, we also wrote a letter to the president at that time, Nana Akufo-Addo, saying, Nana, you are putting your life on the line, so we are just supporting you. So please make sure that nobody comes here to do illegal or small-scale mining. And so that really educated our people, and they saw the need of it. And from there ongoing, we said, so far I've been the only one at the front line. Meanwhile, we have our people also, some of the Jema people in the diaspora, those outside Ghana and then outside Jema in the big cities. We had a small union, so we come together online and we meet. Then we say, why don't we register this into a corporate body? So that was when we registered the JAGA, Jema Anti-galamsey Advocacy. So as I'm speaking, it is well registered under the Registrar General Department. We have also registered it in the Awin Municipality Social Welfare. So we have our registered number as a limited by guarantee. So now we are operating. So with that done, then we say, okay, why don't we also form a watchdog committee? So we formed some of our youth there, especially those in Jema, came out to form the watchdog committee. And I always want to do things legally. I said, no, if we have formed it, let us introduce ourselves to the police, to the security. So I called the divisional commander and then the district commander and said, oh, Father, this is a good thing, because even the president needs them for the 24-hour economy. The police alone cannot do everything. So we send them to Enchi, initially where to come because of our route, but he said, well, we cannot come. I said, well, I don't mind. So we transported 16 people to go to Enchi for the fingerprinting. And so that was what was inaugurated on Thursday, on the 27th. So this is the trajectory of the galamsey activity or anti-galamsey advocacy in Jema, which now, if you saw the video, the occasion, so it is a whole community. It is now the lifeblood. It's becoming part of their DNA, that both children, adults, male and female, stranger visitors, sometimes when you listen to the stranger visitors, they will tell you. And the interesting thing that I did some interview with the very first 5 people whom I said were bringing the galamsey and I confronted. They have a testimony. I think I've given that to Akwesi. One was drying his own cocoa and was a father, I was the one bringing galamsey. I've done galamsey everywhere. He said, if today you give me 1 billion, this is a million, if you give me 1 billion Ghana cedis just for a day to do galamsey, I will not do it. I said, what? He said, Father, I will not do it. So I was sorry. Another person said now he is doing the garden eggs and vegetable farming. And say, Father, thank you, would have destroyed our land. So this is the story. Sometimes we need people to come down on earth to our youth, and then to educate them. These galamsey people, they just come at their vulnerable point. And when they are vulnerable, if the people don't have values more than money, whatever you offer them, they will do that and destroy their land.
All right, Father, that's a very, very interesting story. I want to say congratulations to you for, putting your feet on the ground and also standing on your beliefs. Anyway, I just want to ask, with this setting that you've created, do you think this can be implemented in other regions?
I think so. In fact, that is the invitation in my speech. That is the invitation that I give to the minister. The minister was not there, but the representative did very well. I said, look, that is the essence of studies. If you go to any developed countries, I did my PhD and my dissertation was a phenomenological study of artisanal small-scale gold mining in Ghana. Is it poverty mitigation or poverty aggravation? That is the study. So when we study, and then you have to bring out the results. So the result is what I'm implementing. And if every study comes and we are implementing, that is what brings development. So from what I have done, I have proved to them that the illegal mining does not, or galamsey in general, does not bring development. If you have time and to do another research, go to the Adansi area, go to the Dentra area, go to the Chufu area, all the places that they have mined, poverty has redoubled. Because the development, the economy that they talk about is just in the short term. And the short term is no more than 3 years. Because the mining the type of mining that they are doing, it is not heavy or deep deposit. They are just doing the surface. And if the scientists will tell us, that is why they destroy the land. Because the one they are washing, they are soil components that are good for the crops. You see, when the white man is farming, he will look for little manganese, little sodium, little potassium. We have them, and then little maybe particles of this gold. They are all good for the tree and the cocoa. So when they are doing, they will wash everything just to gather these little particles, and that is why they have to put in the mercury. So when you have sedimentary rocks full of gold, why not? If the deposit is good, why not? So these are the studies, and they are not telling us the truth. So we destroy more than what we gain. Sometimes the first town, Akwesi will tell you, Asimkrum, they came and dug big craters that they created. They couldn't get enough. Sometimes they say they will dig about 1 acre. They won't get more than two blades. If you calculate the cost and whatever they are done, it doesn't, because there's no scientific research to say. But from my research that I've done, the whole of our area, the whole of our new area, there is only one stretch that can be mined for about 50 years. That is Achemfo and Yankamum. All the other area have my files in my work, everything is there. All the other areas, we don't have gold deposit. They are just gold spittles, particles that are soil components for trees and crops.
Right.
So if we want to roll this over, we can do that with education, telling them the truth, scientific truth, as I've done. So now our Omahini came, his representative came. I told them, even the towns that have already done it, why not? We can say enough is enough. Let's educate the people and see what we can do for the future.
All right. So, Father, I also want to ask, it's actually a very bold step that you have taken. And also, do you fear for your life sometimes?
I have never felt that. I have never. You see, I always tell them, if they have to kill me, fine. Somebody must die for others to live. If I'm doing something good and you can't fault me, sometimes people are afraid, oh, Father, maybe they have some. I say, check me. If I've done anything evil, bring it out. Yeah. So if your hands are clean, why are you afraid?
Right.
I've never felt that.
Right. And you also talked about registering Jema Anti-galamsey advocacy group. Now that you've registered it, let's put galamsey on the side and focus on the environment. Would you also be looking at other issues that concern the environment if it comes up?
Exactly. In fact, one thing that we are going to do now that we say, at least now we know galamsey in Jema is just too late. Nobody can come. It will be very blood because the community will rise against that person. So the next thing that is also on my heart is just plastic waste. The plastic devastation is even worse than galamsey. So Jaga is going to look into it. Now everything I try to go with the elders. When I go down maybe next year, we are going to meet the elders as Jaga executives and then come out again with another regulation. Come out the community bylaw. If you drop plastic on the spot, this is the spot fine. So normally we do that, convince the elders, then meet the community, educate them, tell them the advantages of this. And then when they buy into it, they themselves are going to spot out those who are going to do that. The second thing that we are going to do, even though we have the forest, Now you see, when we are growing, because of the snakes, people are afraid of grass. So we have to tell them the type of grasses to plant. We are also, even this program, we're going to have tree planting. So we have discussed some of Jema is a very nice laid out town. Every house has 4 streets along them. So we are going to plant a lot of trees also for the environment. And if I should talk also now, the youth have gone into cocoa farming. How about those who don't have the land, not the strength? We have started what we call the Jagger farms. In fact, we didn't have enough time. I wanted to take Akwesi and the journalists there. But the Jagger farms are amazed. This is the 2nd month already, which in 2 weeks' time, they are going to produce. So from there, we are paying them 6 people, just from our own mega resources. We are paying them at least 600 for a month, six people. So that is what I was calling on the government to help us. This is Feed Ghana project, and the land is there. So these are other things, that measures that we are putting in place to make sure that what we are doing is not only one side, but always talk about integral development.
Wow. Father, this is a good job that you are doing in Jema. I want to ask, are you a native of Jema?
Yes, I am.
Wow. So you've gone back
I was born there. My navel is there. I don't live there much because of my work, but almost every year, it was only when I was in Tele, sometimes a year I will not come, but over here, every year I'll go there 2 or 3 times for the big funerals and then to visit the family.
Wow, that's amazing. But I've seen some fresh crops produce from Jema, and you guys are doing very well. Are there some pressing issues you'd want the government to address in order to maybe help in development in Jema, and also how best you can get the farmers to sell off these produce and make money, so that they wouldn't, like we are all fighting against the illegal mining menace, they wouldn't be lured one way or the other in the future?
Yeah, exactly. I think the most pressing need is the road. In fact, even in my dissertation, I came and said, when the government is saying that you don't have work to do, that is not a story. But especially like farmers, you work so hard, and then there's a glut. And especially in our case, you see they call it aboboya, the tricycle. Sometimes I think Akwesi made one of the pictures. It turned over. Yeah, wow. I think one I saw in the video. So imagine tomatoes that you are carrying. If it turns over, you lose everything. Sometimes they get, so all that we need is just the road. And I can understand, even if we don't have enough money, why should we let the road become so deplorable? Can't we fix at least the big holes and then make it just motorable? So if the road is done, anyway, now they have awarded it. I've seen that the Chinese contractor, Shangshan, has come back. So if the road is done, our people will be far better. In fact, I always tell them, they are far better than, excuse me to say, some of the suburbs in Accra. Go to a place like Sukula, pick one house. How many people are sleeping in one room? And over there, every child of about 18, 17 has their own room. They have fresh air. They have fresh food. And then now Accra and the cities, they are afraid even to eat the local vegetables. People are calling me. Yes. So now we can, all the food that we brought was straight from the farm. And if you like, just taste the Jema plantain and the other plantains that you buy in Accra. Because in Accra, these days, Ghanaians, they are using fertilizer. And we don't even go by measure. So when you eat those plantains, if you're a plantain eater, you see that it's not sticky like the one that you come from Jema, which is very, very natural. Take our yam, our cocoa, and all those things. They are different, because everything is organic. So these are food that we can bring. Maybe I've told some of them, those that are planting the garden next to others, form about 8 or 5 to 10 people as a cooperative. Gather your crops, and then one person brings it to Elubo, send it to Accra. Then those who want to buy organic food, then you come to collect at a collecting point. Ghana, if we even sell it to the market, everybody will say, Jema, it is from Jema. Meanwhile, it's not true. So we want people who want to eat these crops from Jema, a kind of fair trade, so that you can pick them at a collection point in Accra and in Takoradi. Then you are very sure that this is coming from Jema without any adulteration.
Wow.
That's interesting. But I think Father and his people should be preparing. Maybe 2026 Agri Fair, you would want to bring your produce to Accra, so that at least Ghanaian the pulling in Accra also enjoy. Chris, any more thing you have?
No. I just want to say congratulations, Father. You've done a great job, and more grease to your elbows. And I'm going going to go spiritual, and may God protect you. Protect you for what you're doing, and then give you more life and more wisdom to keep pushing and protecting the people.
And Father, before you take leave of us, any final words you'd want to share with the people of Ghana? And also, as we push to fight illegal mining, any maybe nuggets you'd want to be sharing with us as to how we should go about it to ensure that the fight is won?
Yeah, thank you so much. So maybe my final word, especially to our leaders, is that human life, there is no amount of wealth or gold that is equal or that equates human life. Because what is the essence of our wealth? We make wealth for the well-being of people. So if in the process of creating wealth, we are destroying the very people that the wealth should save, then where do we go? Become square one. So we need to be very, very circumspective. We are not against responsible mining, but the responsible mining should not just also be, let's say, just a facade. Just a facade. Let's go very scientific. Make sure that what we have done, what we have put on paper is there. And then what is left, as I said, it's not every particle of gold that is mineable. It's not. Every soil is not mineable. So let us do that scientifically. And then Ghana will be prosperous, because like most of the places that they have mined, they cannot farm again. They cannot mine again. One of the towns of Mampe, one of the first areas, they mined, they refilled, planted about 1,500 coconuts. We have done a documentary. One day we'll bring it to you. When you go there, you can't find more than 10 living coconuts. Because the land is saturated with chemical, with the mercury. You see, sometimes we are not telling the people the truth. We are not telling the truth. The truth is that when you loosen the soil, the mercury, according to the studies I've done, somebody can challenge, that mercury can stay in the soil for about 100 years. For about 100 years. And then when you loosen the soil, sometimes we are saying we are going to refill and plant rubber trees. My friend, that is not true. When you are traveling along Bonsa, from Apimanim going to Takwa, in those days when we have the rubber plantation, even that soil that is natural, rubber easily falls. So when the storm comes, it just blows. And then this time the soil is loosened. So if you plant coconut with a heavy storm, it's going to pull them down. If you plant rubber tree with a heavy storm, it's going to pull them. Let somebody come with a scientific proof to prove me wrong. That is how development comes. I'll put something there. If somebody can prove me wrong, let him come and prove me wrong. So when the soil is loosened, any heavy tree, the roots cannot hold. So a heavy storm will come and all these things will go. So let's tell the true story, scientific story. Ghana is for us. Ghana is for those who are about to come. So that is my final word to everybody, that if we are able to educate and tell the truth, maybe when the people know the danger of it, they get scared. When I showed Poison for Gold 2 days before our program, I showed the Poison for Gold 2 times, and I show other documentaries. Now the people themselves are scared. As we didn't know this. So let's tell them the truth, and then things will be fine.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Father, before I let you go, is there a way we can actually read your research? Is there any website that it's available on?
Oh, yes, please. It is published by ProQuest.
ProQuest. Okay.
Yes, it's published by ProQuest. Also, if you go to Google Scholar, I think I'm also on Google Scholar.
All right.
But if any institution has the ProQuest, subscription, you can get it, or they will sell it to you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Father, thank you so much. Father Joseph Kwame Blaze, the founding member of Jama Anti-galamsey advocacy. But briefly before you come in, Akwesi is still on.
Yeah.
Akwesi, once again, thanks so much for staying with us. Father has done a good job. Maybe your word to Father there, you can take leave of us.
Well, I mean, Father is somebody that, he's contributing so much to this galamsey fight. And I think he should be supported. And one of the ways that I think Father wants us to support him is for government to actually, especially the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, to adopt the Jama advocacy group watchdog under the Blue Water Guard. I think it's something that he forgot to say. They are basically also doing what the Blue Water Guards are doing. And the Blue Water Guards are being paid some stipends. And he's pushing for the ministry to consider adopting or integrating these watchdogs into the Blue Water Guard so that they can also get some kind of payment just to sustain the activities. Because, currently they are funding their operations. They give them some sort of the month. And if the state can actually look at adopting them into the Blue Water Guard to help with their finances, I think That is one way that we can help to sustain the fight in Jama. And then, I mean, let's see if we can also get other communities to emulate what is happening in Jama.
Right.
Wow. Akwesi, thank you so much for your time. Akwesi JNM is our Western Regional Bureau Chief, and he went to that community, Jema, to see a community that is not participating in illegal mining. And you can tell from the water, from the river bodies, it's so clean. There's a message coming through. It says that top of the morning, guys. Honestly, this Osofo Joseph Blaze should be given an award for his humanitarian efforts.
Awards.
Yes.
He needs awards, not just one.
Award.
Awards.
This is what we should be discussing instead of petitions here and there that wouldn't have Ghana move anywhere. Just selfishly. This is kudos once again to Osofo. This is coming from Sam. And I think that if we have about 16 people of this nature, we should be having river bodies in 16 regions that are safe.
Right.
Maybe we should extend what Father has done to the entire Western region, or maybe Western North, or a bigger, or the entire region. Then we should know that if you go and do your studies and you do your theses and all that, it shouldn't be gathering dust. Rather,
it's true.
Implement it. And that is what Father has done.
Yeah, it's true, because I feel at the end of it, this is why they say school is not scam.
Yeah.
You know, people say, school is scam.
School is scam,
But
school is scam, yeah.
School is not scam. And it's also important that, you know, people who have this research should bring them out.
Yeah.
And apart from bringing them out, it's also time for the government to listen
to their
to those who have the expertise and who have actually researched on these things. Well, he said they've researched on it, but if you want to prove him wrong, you should bring your own too. So I think it's very important to listen to such people. He just made a statement that caught my mind, that, you know, it's not everywhere that you find gold.
Yes.
Some are just gold dust, and those gold dust are very beneficial to the soil.
Yeah. It will help the tree grow.
Yeah.
It's going to hold the root of the tree.
So imagine digging all these holes, you know, messing everywhere up just for dust.
So you go destroying the lands, and you are not even sure that you get gold in there. You just destroy it. You leave the land like that, and eventually nothing becomes of the land. And he also made mention of the fact that some communities that you think that are into galamsey, or they are getting quick money and all that, the poverty rate there is higher.
Rather entering a poverty, you know, regime.
The poverty rate there is higher because as soon as you get a quick money, you get 500 Ghana cedis for a period of 3 years. What becomes of the land? Now you can't use the land for any farming activity.
You can't plant, you can't nothing.
It becomes a very poor community. But anyway, that is what we brought to you from Jema community, where they've been able to stand their grounds and they say, no, we do not want galamsey in this area. And that has been led by Father Joseph Blay, Kwame Blay, who has ensured that what he has learned and what he has put in writing, he has implemented it. So maybe government should be listening to people like that. And very importantly, the road. One of these days, we will bring you the report of the road. That is very deplorable. How can they bring the produce that they are having in that community to the bigger cities for the farmers to make money? But I think this is a very good initiative. You are still watching Breakfast Daily here on ChannelOne TV. We'll be back with more.